Hey, good morning, everyone. I'll be your facilitator this morning. My name is Lavinia Grippentrog, and like Esperanza mentioned, I'm a transition specialist at our State Board of Education in the special education section. So I want to welcome you to the session this morning, Raising Expectations and Hearing from Self-Advocates. As we know, self-advocacy and self-determination is so important for positive post-school outcomes for students with disabilities and for individuals with disabilities in general. So we're excited to introduce to you our Advocates as Leaders Speakers Network. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce each speaker so that you have a little bit of background. First is Ms. Courtney Edgington, and she currently lives in Provo, Utah with her parents, her twin sister, and her brother. Throughout her life, Courtney has been using her advocacy skills to achieve her own independence and is now willing to share her expertise with others. She has a strong commitment to her community by volunteering her time in her local elementary school for the past 9 years. In addition to assisting her church as primary class assistant, Courtney would describe herself as hardworking, helpful, kind, earnest, and loyal. In her free time, she enjoys reading, writing, watching TV, and talking with her friends. And I'd also like to introduce Mr. Robert Jones, and he currently lives in American Fork, Utah, and has been involved with self-advocacy since 2003. Robert has served on the statewide board of directors for People First of Utah and remains an activity member of his local Advocates First of Provo chapter. He has been advocating and providing direct supports to people with disabilities for most of his life. He has volunteered his time with his local church by supporting the Special Needs Mutual Youth Group, the Heritage Center, and lives with a person who requires guidance and support. Robert achieved his associate's degree this summer and continues to be a student at Utah Valley University, working towards his bachelor's degree in information technology. He is in his free time. He is a self-employed photographer with 14 years of experience of capturing people's memories. And lastly, I'd like to introduce Ms. Kelly Holt. She was born and raised in Southern California and moved to Utah in the early 2000s. She currently lives in Price in her own apartment, surrounded by her two sisters and brother-in-law. Kelly has served as an elected member of the local and state level People First of Utah, a board member of the Utah Developmental Disabilities Council and the Utah Disability Law Center. She has testified to the Utah State Health and Human Services on behalf of those on the wait list, and she's helped pass legislation to get the R word removed from state and federal language. She has spoken locally and nationally on a variety of topics important to those with disabilities, and in her spare time, she enjoys crafts, listening to music, singing, traveling, and talking on the phone. So I just want to mention that the session will go by fairly quickly, so I will announce when we have 20 minutes left before the session is completed, and the presenter will have 10 minutes to wrap up their presentation, and then we will move to additional conference business such as the prize winners and session evaluation. So I will be monitoring the chat if there's general questions, and otherwise, if there's nothing else, I will turn the time over to our great presenters.
All right, I appreciate the introduction, Lavinia. My name is Robert Jones. I work for the Speakers Network for under the direction of Amy Notwell, which is facilitated through Utah State University. I think I'd say we got our start back in, I want to say at least four or 5 years ago. But as a network, our aim and our goal is to, as was stated, our aim and our goal is to help promote the get my tongue tangled. The idea is to help people with disabilities become more empowered through self-advocacy and through leadership training, through supported decision making. That is the primary topic and theme for what we've been looking at. Supported decision making, the idea behind that is to allow self-advocates be able to make their own decisions with the assistance or the support system of family members. So instead of having decisions made for them, they make their own, but with guidance. Does that make sense? That's been the aim this whole time. And we're pleased to be able to have some progress. We've made quite a bit of headway up until now, or up to this point, and we are hoping that we can continue to do so. About me, as was introduced, yes, I'm a student at Utah Valley University. I am working towards a bachelor's degree in information technology. I have an associate of applied science in information systems, and both have gone pretty well thus far. And yeah, I serve in various capacities in my community where I can, at least while working on my degree. And so, yeah, that's me. Does anybody have any questions?
Not self-determined, have a pretty good chance, or not reach their highest potential.
Self-determination equals independence, and with independence, we can accomplish all kinds of things in our lives. Learning self-determination skills is not something that we only do at school or in the community. We have to have a chance to learn and practice our skills everywhere in our lives. Our families play an important role in helping learn how to speak up, and explore, and try new things. From an early age and beyond, our families can help us learn and practice our self-advocacy and self-determination skills.
Even though we all start to discuss self-determination and self-advocacy skills during our transition years from 14 to 22, more and more studies suggest that these are lifelong skills that need practice, patience, and time, of course, and should be taught at the earliest age possible. These three things listed on this slide, choice making, self-regulating and participating in as many activities with and without people with disabilities, have been found to help start the building blocks to self-determination. Choice making can start as early as infant stage by choosing toys or showing a desire to be with a specific person or certain place. Preschoolers can begin to make choices about what to eat for snacks, what shirt to wear, or what book to look over. Learning to control our own behavior and actions are also important to learn at an early age, because it helps us learn how to express our needs and wants in a clearer way as we grow older. And the more we hang out with and without people with disabilities, helps us start to understand how we fit into the world around us.
It doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. Having a positive view of yourself is important to everyone's life, but sometimes we need help seeing it. Many of us face bullying and rejection from our peers, schools, and community members. And when we come home, we need someone to help help us see that this experience are just that life experience. For many of us, home is a safe place where we are understood, the best, and the look to our family for encouragement, how important we really are. Sometimes we need to be reminded that even those who may have challenges, that does not make us less of a person. Being included with family time and activities in the family and decisions help us improve ourselves, esteem, and improve our self-confidence.
Okay, so we're different. So what? Because home is a safe place, we need to learn the truth about some of the challenges that we will have to face in the future. It's important that we learn about ourselves and people who love, support, and care about us. Sometimes we just need straight answers, but they don't need to be focused on the negative side of our disability. We need encouragement at any age to be the very best we can be, even with our unique challenges. Remind us often that having a disability is not a bad thing. Many great people who have changed the world are individuals that look and think just like us.
Provide us with the opportunity to interact with people of different ages and backgrounds. Sounds like an easy idea, but sometimes we forget how important it is for us to learn how to interact with others. Our family members can play a huge role in helping us get connected to places where we can practice our social skills. That could be a daycare center, school, church, or local neighborhood activity. People with disabilities come in contact with many people in their lives, and we need to be able to practice and understand how to get along with others.
Just because a person has a disability, it does not get them off the hook for taking responsibility of their own actions at any age. Self-determined is about learning how to take more control of our lives, but it is not the freedom to make bad choices without consequence. And and this is um and this is something that we can all learn at any age. We need to understand that some of our decisions make positive changes in our lives, but sometimes we make mistakes. Just because we fail doesn't mean that we shouldn't have the opportunity to try again. Because of our abilities, sometimes we need to find different ways to adapt our environment to be successful.
Imagine someone who had nothing that they felt was important for them, nothing to pursue, and nothing to do. Setting goals are important in everyone's lives. When we are involved in setting goals, it helps us to be more accountable for our actions and decisions. It helps us learn new things and keeps us motivated. Achieving our goals are great, but don't forget the skills needed to get there are just as important to celebrate. Sometimes it might be taking risks and trying out new things that are out of our comfort zone. Or maybe it's about using our problem-solving skills or time management skills. Setting goals helps us take action regardless of the obstacles.
Making choices is the one of the many keys for helping us to become more self-determined. It doesn't matter if we're choosing a toy to play with or choosing a job. Learning how to make a decision is a skill which requires practice. guidance, and time. We need to start early in our lives with making simple decisions, so as we grow older, we have the confidence to make more difficult decisions. Unfortunately, many of us are not expected or given the opportunities to make decisions until we reach the age of 18, which makes it harder for us to make good informed decisions. We have listed on this slide some ideas about how you can help us learn to be better decision makers. But there is one thing missing, and that is never give up on us. Sometimes it takes a little longer to understand and usually a lot more practice, but most of us have the ability to learn the skill.
Leaning on self-determined. Life helps us become more independent. As we learn how to speak up for ourselves, we need the opportunity to have more saying in what happens in our lives. At any age, helping us become more independent, increase our confidence and self-esteem and self-value. It also helps with our motivation because we now have our own reason to achieve.
For the last several minutes, we have been talking about how important it is to guide, encourage, and support self-advocacy and self-determination skills through our early years. But many of the ideas we have shared can be used at any age. But now we'd like to include some additional thoughts to help support a person transitioning to adulthood or an older person to reach their highest potential.
No one goes it alone. We all need help to reach our highest potential. Very few people achieve things in their lives by only doing it themselves. Help us identify and get those people involved in our lives that support our journey to accomplish the things that we want to achieve. Usually it's our family and friends who are our best supporters, but there are lots of other people out there that might be great supporters too. It is our peers, our neighbors, people in the community, or maybe it's our bus driver. We know the supportive people in our lives. Please give us the opportunities and tools to choose. We all can succeed if we have a good circle of supporters.
The next key in reaching our highest potential is that all of our supporters believe that with practice, the right supporter and opportunities, we all can achieve certain things in our lives. That is a tough one for many of us, since we all come to the table with the expectation, either high or low. Sometimes by believing, we open our minds to all the possibilities available, which help us figure out ways to make things happen. All of the people involved in our lives needed to believe and help us believe too that we can be successful.
Part of believing means that we, as self-advocates, and you as our families, take the time and patience to listen to each other. Sometimes, many of us may not have the words that best describes our wishes, so we may need some help with expressing our ideas. Let me give a good example of this. Several years ago, I had heard about a person who wanted to become a pilot. When he told his supporters his wishes, many of them right away laid out all the reasons why he could never be a pilot. They talked about how expensive it would be and how he would have to have excellent time management and quick problem-solving skills. It would not be likely that he could achieve this dream. He remembers being sad about ever saying anything. But one of his supporters, recognizing he had limited verbal skills, thought maybe he meant something different. So she took him out to the airport to discuss with him the reasons why he wanted to be a pilot. Come to find out, he really wasn't interested in becoming a pilot at all, but enjoyed spending time at the airport. He reported to his supporter that he loved coming to the airport to watch all the different people from around the world. So instead of talking about being a pilot, they checked out all of the different places they might be able to get a job, or how we could spend time at the airport watching all the people go by. Thank goodness that one of his supporters listened a little bit deeper than everyone else. Listening is an important skill for all of us to practice.
We all can believe a lot of things about our own abilities, but sometimes the truth is that certain things in our lives may not be achievable. This is why helping us come up with the pros and cons of any decision is important. We need to be aware of all of our options and choices so we can make reasonable decisions about our life.
Communicating our needs, wants, and desire, sometimes it can be a challenge for some of us. It's pretty unlikely that we'll accomplish the things that we want if we don't speak up. But you, as our families, can help us think about all of the ways that we can get our message across to our other supporters. For some of us, maybe you could help us develop less using words, pictures, and samples that express our thoughts. Maybe you could provide us with a role play and opportunities or tools, such as the strip, video, and voice recordings, or outline, so we are prepared to explain to others the reason why we would like to try something new. Please never believe that just because some of us difficult in communicating means that we have nothing to say. With your help, we can find the ways to let people know what we're thinking.
Now we'd like to show a YouTube video that we hope will raise your own expectations. We hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Tyler. Since you're here, I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to tell you a little bit about myself. I guess I'm just a normal high school sophomore. I love video games and movies, especially action movies with lots of martial arts. You know, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li. I take karate lessons myself, the Shinkudo style. I'm a yellow belt with a blue stripe. I've got great instructors. They're called senseis in karate. I had to stop taking lessons last fall because of marching band practice. We've got an awesome band. Our director works us hard. I'll never ask more than your best, he always says. Last year, we were first place in large group state competition. This year, we had to settle for second, but we'll be back next year. Besides band, I like all kinds of music. Pop, rock, rap, hip-hop, even musicals. Andrew Lloyd Webber is my favorite composer, but I like the newer rock operas too, like Hero and Rent. I've been lucky enough to see a few on stage. I got the chance to be on stage a few times myself, at our community playhouse. I got the part of the kid in the Boxcar Children. 54 kids tried out for 6 parts. I felt pretty lucky to get one. Last year, I was in one of the high school large groups for state drama competition. We did the Dr. Seuss version of Romeo and Juliet. It was a lot of fun, but hard work. We got an all-state nomination. Quite an honor. Oh yeah, I do go to classes too. I have a 3.5 grade point average so far in high school, and I have to work to keep that up. It's pretty hard to get fired up about math, but my teacher's great. After school on Mondays, I have scouts. In fact, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, I'm an Eagle Scout. Doing this video is part of my Eagle Scout project. Well, I probably shouldn't bore you too long with my life, especially since, given the situation here, I can't let you return the favor. But before I go, there's one more thing I should tell you. You knew there was going to be one more thing, didn't you? Well, I'm not really Tyler. My name's Chase. I'm an actor and a friend of Tyler's who was very happy to help him out. Tyler's here too. But before you meet him, I want to assure you that everything I told you about him is true. All of it. That's Tyler's life, though, not mine. And he'd be the first to tell you that he didn't get there alone. I think he'll want to talk with you about that. Come to think of it, do any of us get there alone?
I don't think so. Yep, I'm Tyler. Surprised? Why? You shouldn't be. Chase described the life of a typical high school kid. Well, that's me. Sure, I got a couple extra things to deal with, don't we all? Mine are cerebral palsy, nonverbal learning disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxieties. They're all a part of my life. But I don't want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about the people who saw me, who made the effort to see me, Tyler, not my diagnosis. These are the people who saw me for my abilities, not my disabilities. I call it ability awareness. Sure, these people recognize my challenges, but they didn't let them be showstoppers. They just helped find accommodations to get around them. And yes, they took some extra time and energy from me, and I appreciate what every one of them has done. I can't imagine what my life would be like without them. Any of them. My karate instructor, my sensei, could have seen me with a big cat stamped on my forehead, but he didn't. We spent time together figuring out ways to do the moves, the katas, on my knees, so I could take part in one of my passions, the martial arts. My band director knows what I'm capable of, and he won't let me off the hook for 1 second. He tells us that he's an equal opportunity yeller, and he is. I play percussion in the band, and he makes extra efforts to use my talent where it isn't me, and the rest of the band the most good. I don't think he sees it as special. I think he sees it as part of his job. For theater productions, I had to try out, like everyone else. I had to wait to see if I got confidence. I had to wait to see if I got the part. I don't know how many directors would have been able to see past my wheelchair and my speech challenges to appreciate my acting ability, but this one did. I had taken a lot of classes, and he knew I would work hard. I love high school, but sometimes it's hard. My cerebral palsy and nonverbal learning disorder make a lot of things in class difficult. But my teachers are wonderful. My aide and the administrators are too. They work with me to accommodate my challenges and keep them from being obstacles. They enlarge handouts, revise assignments, adapt testing, keep me where I can see better, and generally find different ways of getting at the same result. They keep open minds, and together we have a lot of creativity. Yeah, sometimes they find these new ways to be better for the whole class. When I was in other Cub Scout, one of my leaders wanted me to play in the Cub Scout softball league. He just plain didn't see a problem. There wasn't. I batted from my chair. My dad pushed me around at the bases. No extra strikes, no favors. We worked out the fielding too. The last 5 years of scouting have been the same. I've been able to go everywhere and do everything all the other scouts have. All because of leaders who care. The bottom line is simple. If it wasn't for teachers, youth leaders, and administrators who truly cared about giving everyone an opportunity, who had open minds, and were sometimes willing to spend a little extra time and effort to make it all happen, my life would be totally different. What would I be doing? More importantly, what wouldn't I be doing? Whether they knew it or not, they were practicing ability awareness. These people, and many others, have made all the difference in my life. If you're watching this, you're probably in a position to make a difference too. You're in a position to practice ability awareness. Is there someone you know who needs you to have an open mind, some creativity, and a little extra time? I know there is. Please, make a difference. Thanks.
As a quick reminder, we have about 17 minutes left until the session is over.
Okay. Well, Tyler's a pretty amazing person, isn't he? Tyler can be any one of us if we are willing to put the time and effort into achieving our goals. Do we have challenges? Sure, but nothing that we can't figure out with the help from our families and supporters. Don't ever give up on us or our dreams. It might take a little time, but it is worth it.
So, what are your expectations for your life? Did your family and friends guide your ideas about what you want in your about what was important in your life and where you want to go? Did you receive any guidance from other people? Do you have someone in your life that motivates you and encourages to reach your dreams? That's a chance we want to. We just want people to believe that we are individuals who have unique challenges, but our strengths, abilities, and determination can overcome any barriers. Nothing is impossible.
We hope you enjoy our presentation today. So now we're going to open to you any questions, but on the screen, if you have any question and if you need to contact us for anything, we have our emails on the screen there.